In this video, I'm going to go over how to use GPTs to help get started in your real estate investment journey. We're going to use a Prop AI investment advisor to do so, which is free to use. My name is Ariel Herrera, and I've been an investor for 5 years. I started my career in data science, worked for top companies, and was tired of trading my time for money. So I started my journey in real estate, but used a data-driven approach to find my first deals. And I was able to find deals in up-and-coming markets to help me fuel to finance my portfolio. I now build software for other investors to be able to find deals using data. And over the last 5 years of listening to investors trying to get started in real estate while working, I've written a book that's a clear guideline on how to actually acquire real estate using data. So this is the first mistake that I see a lot of investors make. They want to get into real estate and they go directly to, say, ChatGPT to ask for advice. So they might go here to ChatGPT and say, I want to get started in real estate. Give me the steps to do so. And while this is running, I'm going to tell you why this is wrong. Where GPTs are successful, when you use GPTs for specific goals that are trained on specific sets of data to really make them an expert on this topic. So here we get, as a response to get started in real estate, we need to set clear goals. Are we looking for long-term income, house hacking? So what is our strategy here? What financing options do we want? How to educate ourselves? Choosing a niche, building a team, research markets, run the numbers, start small, and so on. While great advice, this is a little bit vague and doesn't give concrete action steps to take to be able to get your goals in line. In the book, we cover the 5 steps for real estate investing: goal setting, market research, property search, property screening, and offer generation. In the book, we take action to actually define these different strategies and goals. And I actually have a template on what you can log down. This will help downstream to be able to find markets, neighborhoods, and ultimately that property to close on. Having a book that gives you action-driven steps is exciting and helps with the process. But even better is if we can combine it with the GPT. This is one of the only books available and the only one for real estate that comes with a personalized GPT to help you as you go through the book. So I partnered with Voker to be able to help you start your investment strategy, market research, and property search via GPTs. Here's how it works. We want to get into real estate investing. The first thing is to set some clear goals. So we're asked, how much are you planning to invest in real estate? So starting with capital. Here we can enter, I have $50,000. Should I use everything? So we're stating here how much money we have in our savings and asking a question as well. Here, GPT will say, we recommend you use 85% at max for investment purposes. So it asks us, would you agree 42K or so to get started in investing? And that works for me. So now we see that we have our action item and our notes logged down. If we're comfortable with this recommendation, we can move on to the next strategy, which is defining our investment strategy. Yes, let's do it. What are our primary goals when it comes to real estate investing? Are we looking for regular income to support our current lifestyle, or perhaps to achieve financial independence? Are we looking to aim for long-term wealth accumulation through property value appreciation? So I'm going to put here, I'm in my early 30s. I want to hold on to properties for long-term, maybe retire early when I'm 45. So cash flow is important, but depth appreciation too. Got it. So the goals is to invest potentially in the mid-40s. So both cash flow and appreciation of a balanced approach is recommended. And the reason why it's able to ask these targeted questions is because we've trained this GPT specifically on hundreds of videos that I've done in the past for YouTube, as well as other expert advice on how to go through planning your investment strategy. So let's go on to our next. Next, please, for acquisition strategy. This is where I see a lot of people get tied up. Is should I go for traditional financing, creative? What's the best for me? Well, it really depends on how fast you're looking to scale and how much money you have to put down, as well as your risk. So it says here, a little bit of education. Traditional financing requires a down payment of around 20%. This is when we go to the bank to finance the rest. Whereas creative financing could mean many different terms. Specifically, you'll hear a lot seller financing and subject to. Given that we have 42,000, it asks us, are we more interested in traditional or creative based on what we have here? Well, I am risk adverse, so I do want lower risk, but I'm not really sure. I'm not sure. I want to scale a portfolio fast without having to continuously save money. What do you think? Now it just gave us a recommendation. In order to scale quickly without large sums of money, creative financing could be a very effective strategy. This can include FHA loans to put less money down, so we live in the property first, seller financing, as well as partnerships. So here it's that our acquisition strategy will be creative financing, FHA loans, seller financing, and partnerships. Maybe I want to get a little more specific and say, let's just stick to seller financing, which basically means we borrow from the bank. So now I understood that and is moving on to our next part, which is hold and exit strategy. How are we going to make money from this deal? So we can consider long-term rentals, medium-term rentals, and more. It says, considering your goal of achieving early retirement, maximizing both cash flow and appreciation, long-term rental or house hack may be suitable. Remember, it's trained on me. So here I am going to put, that sounds good. I want a passive strategy for sure, since I'll be working full time still. So let's go with LTR. All right. So now we have LTR strategy. And finally, we're going to talk about location. Now we're going to get into the market research and property search. But first, there's just some high level things that can help us start to narrow down what cities we want to invest in. So first, do we want to invest close to home or out of state? Both have pros and cons. Close to home is ideal for investors to stay within about a 2-hour drive. You have familiarity with the area, and you could even do hands-on management if you'd like. Out of state can be more affordable, and you can reach higher growth markets as well. For my first, I want to do, let's do out of state. Out of state. I don't really have a network at home, so it wouldn't matter if I did local because the resources don't exist. So effort is same. Now our GPT has finalized our summary. So I mentioned previously that one of the goals of the book is to take action-driven approach of going through each of the 5 steps and putting your notes of your goals and strategy all the way down to selecting an offer. Now for this part, within only less than 10 minutes, we've been able to go back and forth with questions and answers to be able to fill out that piece of our document. So now we have an idea of how much capital we're willing to put in, what our investment strategy will be, which in this case is balance of cash flow and appreciation. How will we acquire these deals, which is through seller financing? How we plan to make money off of these deals, which will be long-term rentals. And our initial location strategy, which is going to be invest out of state. It also gives us a brief explanation of our summary too, and we could always make adjustments as we'd like. But let's just go right into the next section so you could really see the power of using GPTs here. In previous webinars, I've gone through in detail how you can use the intelligent market selection tool to be able to get recent market data and economic data to help choose a market. You can check out these prior webinars on my website and using the link below to look at how you can leverage GPTs as well as identify hot investment markets with these analytics tools that are available for free. So let's imagine that we've narrowed down just to a couple of cities, and I want to run an analysis on Tampa, Florida. But actually, before I click Tampa here, I'm going to show you what would be the difference if we use a GPT that is not trained on specific data. So here I'm going to ask, I am an investor. Please help me collect information on analyzing Tampa, Florida, the market as a real estate city, or I'll put here as a city that I will conduct real estate business in. So it starts to say if I want to analyze Tampa, Florida as an investment market, I would need to look at population growth and demographics, economic growth, including some major employers, look at real estate market data, look at rental rates, vacancy rates, and more. This is pretty great information. However, it's still not the level of detail that we need. So let's go to Voker, type in Tampa, Florida, run analysis, and instantly we're met with information on some of those economic and market stats that we talked about in the GPT for ChatGPT. We have initially population, median sale price, median days on market. A quick summary of Tampa, Florida and its real estate market, including top employers and what that mix of employers look like. We have top neighborhoods for investing as well here with more detail on what makes them unique. Climate risks, which for Tampa, Florida is in Florida. So there are high climate risks when it comes to sea level rising, as well as flooding events. Top employers. We can see a variety of employers, including MacDill Air Force Base, which can be a great strategy for targeting military. Top attractions. One of my favorites, the Tampa Riverwalk, and new developments, which is one of my key strategies when investing. I look for up and coming areas. One of the reasons why I invested in Florida in 2020 was because of Water Street being developed, as well as Gasworks under development as well. So here we're able to see, using a GPT, we can basically streamline our research so much faster. So now if we have a handful of cities that we've selected from our dashboard, we can go down to actually analyzing those cities so much quicker. But what if we want to actually start to invest in areas in Tampa? How do we know where to even start? This is where property search comes in handy to actually define our buy box, which if you don't know what a buy box is, all that and more is introduced within the Data Driven Investor's Guide to Real Estate. So here I'm going to put in Tampa, Florida once again. And I want to understand what sort of neighborhoods are in my price range. So I'm going to put here 500,000, and it's going to make a live API call to be able to get a sample set of listings and then provide to us what zip codes we can maybe be investing in. So without having to dive through listings, we can get an initial landscape. 33602. This is a zip code that has a lot of co-ops. In that sample set, there's about 6 condo listings, median price of $420K. Well, I don't want to deal with a condo, to be honest, because there could be an HOA that can change rules on rentals as well as increase monthly fees. But if we look at 33603, in this neighborhood, there are 7 single-family homes listed with a median price of $425K. Median size of these properties are about 1,200 or so, with 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, and built in 1925. So without even starting to look at listings, I can draw a mental picture. This area has properties that have nostalgia. So these are older homes that likely have been brought to life, I would assume, through fix and flipping. And the size of them, because they're older, is relatively small for a 3-bed, 2-bath. However, this area could be interesting because if there's only a small supply of homes here, since it's an older neighborhood, it could also draw appreciation in the future. If you want to learn more of how to get started in real estate, then pre-order my book at this low price while it's available before our release on October 16th. We'll go through all the steps for getting your first deal in real estate. You'll also receive access to tools, including the one that you saw here, the Prop AI Advisor. And if you don't want to wait and want to start fast tracking your journey now, check out Coffee Closers, the tool that I've co-developed to help you find deals and achieve financial freedom faster. Thanks.